Hello, MAGFest. It is 7:30. Hello. Thank you so much for coming to Shelved, where digital media goes to die. Is everyone having a good MAGFest so far? Yeah! I am so glad to hear that. I'm gonna kill the vibe now. My name is Lynn. I also go as Fairy Wren on social media. I am a cosplayer and general enthusiast of media, and I am quite miffed about digital media. And I have you locked in this room. You're gonna hear me rant for about 40 minutes. We'll see. All right, so this is our agenda. You can see what exactly we're doing. Save your questions for the end if you can. We should have some time for Q&A. If I don't know the answer, I will congratulate you on stumping me. It's a high honor. So let's get into it. Dearly departed, a funeral for the digital media that ran out of extra lives. Brothers, sisters, siblings, nerds of various persuasions, we are gathered here today in remembrance of the digital media that we have loved and lost. For our favorite songs, killed and removed by Spotify without a word. The real disappearance of Hatsune Miku. The underground Vocaloid songs we only have 10 seconds of. They're a good 10 seconds, though. The slaughter of digital media committed by Max, including literally entire movies in post-production, like Batgirl, that will never see the light of day. Woo. The purging committed by Disney Plus, including a sequel to a TV series, to an 80s movie that we never really asked for, but we got anyways. Thanks, I guess. Deadpool, the video game that was wrapped up in legal tape and strangled to death. PT. I know, the best playable teaser we've ever had. And the hills that we were never able to traverse. The Nintendo eShop. I know. Taking with it all of the virtual console games on Nintendo 3DS and Wii U, we will get to that. Pushmo. Beautiful digital titles. Rhythm Paradise Mega Mix. I know. Tragic. All of the Pokemon in the Pokemon bank that we forgot to transfer. I have quite a few shinies left in there. Well, I hope she's keeping them safe at least. And Fire Emblem Fates, the actual true ending of this is locked behind the Nintendo 3DS eShop. Do you have any media you would like to pay your respects to? Feel free to shout them out. Go ahead. Flash games. Flash games. Go ahead.
The original Catadaria, they took out all the music in the recut.
No. The Catadaria? Catadaria. Daria.
Yeah, the original cut.
R.I.P. Daria. All the way in the back? Yes, you. Coyote versus Acme. Yes? Adult Wednesday. Yes. Star Wars vs. Assault. Driver San Francisco. One more over here. All of the Cartoon Network games online. All right. All of this. So much lost media. But you might be thinking, wait, how is all of this media lost? You might, how is this possible? There's no way all this media is really lost, right? You listened to Hatsune Miku yesterday, or today, or 5 minutes ago, like me. And there's still a ton of games on the Switch eShop, so what gives? Well, I have really great news, my friends. I have a very simple answer for you. It's complicated. As it turns out, there's no simple answer for this conundrum. But do not worry, because Digital Media 101 is in session with Professor Wren. All right, let's go real quick through the definition of digital media. We think that, we know this definition, but it's quite literally a noun, meaning any media in a form that can be stored, read, seen, otherwise consumed using a computer, and yes, your phone does count. So this includes basically everything nowadays. Most television, digital media. Music, a lot of it is digital media. Whatever your favorite social media website is, also digital media. This PowerPoint, digital media. So you know what they say. Always has been. Not always, but we'll get to that. So what is lost media then? Well, it's also a noun, in case you were wondering. It's an umbrella term for any form of information, entertainment, other media that was once available, that is now otherwise unable to be consumed. It might be irrecoverable, locked away, or have no consumable copies available. The biggest thing to keep in mind here is that this is an umbrella term. Lots of items here can fall under this term, an umbrella. So that's pretty black and white, right? Clear cut, simple, absolute. It's either consumable or not consumable, right? Well, actually, there's a lot of gray area. I'm talking about the gray market. The gray market is an unauthorized trade of a commodity through distributions outside of the manufacturer's channel. These items are called gray goods. Gray markets are everywhere. Just walk into the marketplace in the expo hall later, and you will immediately be greeted with a few gray market stands. A thrift store, gray market. The exchange, gray market. eBay, gray market, baby. So this is a great time to answer the question I hear telepathically in everyone's head. Obviously, is it lost if we can still get it on the gray market? That's a good question, because, we're talking about, theoretically, the, weird space, the gray area, if you will, between digital and physical games. So, physical media. Unfortunately, I have an exercise on why physical media ownership isn't the solution to this problem. And yes, I know, I hear all of you groaning, you physical media stands. I am one of you too. But let me prove to you why physical media ownership isn't just the solution. It certainly helps, but. So if it's on the gray market, is it really lost media? In my opinion, and I am your panelist for the night, so what I say goes. In my opinion, yes, kind of. So let's talk about access to media real quick. So money is the biggest barrier, full stop. For anything, groceries, etc. Video games, one of the, essential functions of life. Video games are expensive. Out of print video games are even more expensive. You catch my drift. So let's play a quick little game. I want you to think about your favorite classic video games from 2010 or earlier. Yes, classic video games are now 2010 or earlier. That hurts my heart too. It's fine. We're not going to think about it too hard. So search up what a physical copy costs now, and for bonus points, see if you can find the MSRP from its release, and hold on to that title and that number for just a minute while I grab the rest of my notes. And I'm going to throw a bunch of facts at you, so I hope you're excited. All right. So let me share just how dire the circumstances of video game availability are. So according to the Video Game History Foundation, who is actually here at MAGFest this year, woo! Woo! We love you. Thank you for all your work. They published an amazing study on classic video games in 2023. Unfortunately, 87% of classic video games in the United States are out of print. That's an awful lot. If you think that sounds bad, I'm sad to tell you it gets even worse. They measured game availability across 5-year periods, and not a single 5-year period rose above 20% availability. They also measured 3 video game ecosystems, the Commodore 64, the PS2, and the Game Boy family. So even the most active ecosystem, which was the PS2, only had 12% availability. The Commodore 64 ran in at a jaw-dropping and devastating 4.5%. I'm really sorry, Commodore 64 fans. I don't know any of you, but it's quite tragic. We'll get into the Game Boy family later, but I can tell you in advance to brace yourself. So I'll go first in terms of my favorite classic video game, Pokemon Platinum. It was my first Pokemon game, and to this day, my favorite. It was released in the US in March 2009. On release, let's take a moment and look at this beautiful old GameStop website. God, I miss web pages that look like this. It costs, if you see down there in tiny little print, $34.99. The standard price for all mainline DS games, which nowadays, accounting for the egregious inflation that we're dealing with, is about $50 in 2025 money. So that's perfectly reasonable, right? I think so. Unfortunately, it's also a lot of other people's favorites. So it's making it very, very expensive. In fact, it is the most expensive aftermarket Pokemon game. As of 1:18 at 9 a.m. when I made this particular slide, the most recent copy went on eBay for $168.95. To make matters worse, fake copies have flooded the market, taking advantage of naive nerds. On a budget, most copies under $100 are fraudulent. So it is incredibly difficult to actually get Pokemon Platinum under $100. Part of the definition of lost media is media that is otherwise unable to be consumed. Like I mentioned, money is a barrier to access for many retro video games and other media. Add in the fact that we have copies that are degrading and disappearing, and you have a recipe for critically endangered media. So, does anyone have a good example? You in the pink.
Fire Emblem Path of Radiance was $50 or $60 on release. They're currently going on eBay for $380 to $360.
So, for those who didn't hear, Fire Emblem Path of Radiance was originally going for around $50, now going for $350 nowadays, which, ouchie. All right, anyone else? Yep, you? Warcraft 3.
I have an original copy from like 2001.
Oh, look at you. Back when they made discs. Oh my God. How rare. Yep, you over there? Gale of Darkness. Oh. I don't think I want to. Based on your tone of voice, I don't think I want to look up Pokemon Gale of Darkness. But thank you for the suggestion. Yes, you? Yes, you.
Dragon Quest Heroes Rocket Slime was my favorite game of the DS. It was $35 on release. It is $17 now.
Sometimes we have successes. How wonderful. One last one. Klee.
So, 9 hours, 9 person.
Oh, I love that game.
Great game. You can get it on eBay for about $100 now.
Painful.
Plenty on release.
So that was 9 hours, 9 people, 9 doors. Thank you. I'm so good at this. It goes for $100 now. Yikes. All right, so How did we get here? We only have 1 minute to talk about this condensed history. So the information age began in 1947 when a bunch of people invented a bunch of cool shit. Then in 1977, home computers enter the market, and we focus on programming and video games. Video games, very important. The 80s came the use of digital formats such as CDs. And then one of the things that changed everything was the invention of the World Wide Web, which is still a very young invention, which became publicly available in 1991. I don't like thinking about that. So then the 2000s was a major boom in everything digital, cell phones, cameras, you name it, computers. The computer usage spiked massively. 2005, another extremely important event happened. YouTube was founded. iTunes began offering TV shows and movies. The population of the internet reached 1 billion. 1 billion? That was only in 2005. And then in 2007, Netflix goes digital and led the streaming charge in changing the game forever. So, why does this not bode well for nerds like us? Well, I mentioned the cost and investment. So that's expensive. Upkeeping classic consoles, expensive, and a barrier to many. So history and education. Video games are part of our history. Most of the digital media that is available to us is part of our history. Not to be, passionate about it or anything. I'm not like standing on a stage about it or anything. But it's so important to remember the video games that came before us, before the games that we love today, etc. And also, media degradation. Everything has an expiry date. Us, our favorite media, paper, nothing lasts forever. So, let's continue on to digital mass extinction events. A widespread and rapid decrease in the biodiversity of media. So I have 3 key things that I want to chat about. First is the tragedy of the Nintendo eShop closure. Yeah, buckle in. On March 27th, 2023 at 5 p.m. Pacific time, I was counting the seconds, the Nintendo 3DS and Wii U eShop closed for good and thus shelving thousands of games, leaving them to gather dust. Some of notable mentions among the shelves, here's a cutie little video that should play, we'll see. Nope. Guess it won't, it's fine. We'll just go back to that. But some of the notable mentions, in entirely almost online exclusive DLC for a Fire Emblem game, the Virtual Console collection, scores of digital-only releases. You can argue that a lot of these could be classified as shovelware, but regardless, when the eShop closed, so did a lot of video game history. Before March 2023, the Virtual Console alone was keeping a good chunk of Nintendo's classic video games in circulation. We're going to circle back to the Video Game History Foundation study. On the Game Boy family alone, as of April 2023, only 5.87% of Game Boy family games were still in circulation. But what makes it worse is prior to that, prior to the closure of the Nintendo eShop, there was an additional 6.5% of Game Boy games that used to be available. When the eShop shuttered, it took that away. We lost over half of the Game Boy games that were available to us at the time. And Nintendo has no plans on bringing them back out. And just a couple weeks ago, a Tumblr blogger and Nintendo data miner, his name is Luigi Blood, very topical, uncovered emails that indicated A Switch Virtual Console was in the works, but it got scrapped in 2017 or 2018 due to being too costly. We could have had it all. So just how many titles were lost in the closure? I am so glad you asked. We're gonna be here for a hot second.
Shipping on me, Tensei!
We're not even through the Nintendo 3DS.
Not my boy Tetris.
So many Just Dance.
Tekken Tag.
So many Animal Crossing.
I don't have my reading glasses.
I can't help you there because I can't read that. Okay, so we're not even half done with this, so I'm just gonna move along so that we can see the actual stats. So let's talk about the actual stats. Here is a bunch of numbers. We lost 1,547 titles on the 3DS eShop, 866 titles on the Wii U eShop, totaling a whole bunch of money. And these stats aren't even fully accurate. When the closure was announced, there was just a long enough headway for many game developers to yoink their games off the eShop. There was no reason to renew their licenses for a dying platform. An estimated 1,000 unique games fell out of release when the Nintendo eShop closed. Hang on, I'm getting a call. Hello? I'm in the middle of a panel. Can I... Wait, what? Oh, God. I gotta tell them. I have really bad news. Another meteor has been sighted, circling the digital media atmosphere. All right, back to the program. What I mean to say, this is gonna happen again. History doesn't repeat, but it sure does rhyme. The Switch 2 is coming out. Time marches on. One day, Nintendo will yank the Switch eShop out of our hands. Digital media isn't forever. You don't even own it. Don't say I didn't warn you. Some other notable events. The Xbox 360 store closed last year. Steam in October made it very clear that you do not own the Steam games that you have purchased, and you never will. In fact, if you die and Steam catches wind of that, they will close your account. You can't give it to anyone else. You can't put it in a will, can't do anything with it, because the license is only for you. Flash games. In 2020, every major web browser disabled Flash. It was a huge blow to the casual video game history, almost. But thankfully, Ruffle, an open source emulator, makes it possible to play many Flash games again. Everyone say thank you, Ruffle. All right. The disappearance of Hatsune Miku from the internet, not the song, even though the song is really, really good. First question, who is Hatsune Miku? Those are all really good answers. She is a playable character in the hit game Fortnite. So she's more than that, actually. Hatsune Miku is actually a Japanese software voice bank created for music and sometimes memes, depending on who you are. Anyone can use it if you pay for the license. So she's more than just an artist. She's an instrument. She is the most popular Vocaloid, and that's the term for these voice banks. And let me be clear. this affects more than just a semi-niche Japanese vocalist. I'm just really, really pressed that all of my favorite Miku songs disappeared off of all of my streaming platforms. So why are these songs going missing? Streaming licensure, one of the most common reasons, and the reason why World Is Mine disappeared for 3 days. So those were a very difficult 3 days for me. Indie artist, streaming as an indie artist isn't easy, and sometimes deletion. Sometimes the artist just doesn't want it to exist in the world anymore, and that's okay, kind of. Streaming platforms and licensure. So to go a little bit deeper on this, all music on streaming platforms are licensed. This can and will often lead to complex legal issues and expirations galore. When they expire, the contract has to be renegotiated or renewed. So much legal red tape to jump around. For example, Wawaka, my favorite Vocaloid artist, his discography contains 45 songs across 4 albums, but on Spotify and Apple Music, only 4 songs remain. And those 4 songs are all from compilation albums or live concert events, because yes, Hatsune Miku does go on tour. The reason is because he passed away in 2019. And it is incredibly hard to figure out licensing for someone who is not able to negotiate that. So lots of wonderful things missing from our streaming platforms. Indie artists versus billion-dollar company. Who's gonna win? I'm surprised it's not a question. Indie artists get hit really, really hard. So new rules that went into effect last year, I believe, on Spotify now state that songs must have at least 1,000 streams in a year in order to start making any profit. That's kind of screwed up. This rule won't affect like mainline artists, our Nicki Minaj and Doja Cat and all those folks. But for small indie artists, they are disproportionately affected. In fact, even when they start making money from their music after 1,000 streams, they only make about 0.003 to 0.005 cents per stream, meaning the next 1,000 streams will net you 3 to 5 cents. Ka-ching! What a payday. And then we have the deleted or lost Vocaloid music. The world of lost Vocaloid music is complex and strange. Most of these songs are 10-second clips found through VocaRank videos and nothing more than that. These are some examples. Masa's Medical Wedding, Scapegoat Peas, Stacy, and Keisha's Little Mermaid. These are all 10-second clips that I found thanks to VocaDB, which catalogs the very little history that we have on these artists. There are a ton of different sites and forums and discords dedicated to the search for lost media. There are a few wins, there are many, many losses and dead ends, but we still put up the good fight in the name of our favorite 10-second song. All right. Direct to streaming, a death sentence. Let's play another game. It's called Which Multi-Million-Dollar Streaming Platform Did This? All right, easy to stream, easier to lose. So our first contestant on the left removed 36 streaming titles in September 2022. Over 20 were made in-house. Do we have any thoughts, guesses? Max? Ding, 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 ding. All my homies hate HBO Max. All right. On the right-hand side, this company removed hundreds of titles, including 12 major TV shows. The purge included titles made for streaming purposes, meaning, yep, onto that digital shelf. Who is it? Any guesses? Drum roll. Disney Plus. Boo! All my homies hate Disney. So, due to this, we've lost things like Infinity Train. I know. It's okay. Let it all out. And of course, Disney took with it Willow. Yeah, I know. We didn't really ask for it. Some people are really upset about it, but whatever. All right, so let's move on to finished or nearly finished products that will never ever see the light of day, or at least they're not planning on it right now. So first we have Coyote versus Acme, a unreleased half-animated movie that had amazing pre-release reviews. I can't even begin to explain the egregious amount of bullshit the crew and the writers and the directors have gone through regarding the shelving of this entire film, and I might lose my temper if I start talking about it. It's that bad. We also have Scoob, A Holiday Haunt. I think it would have been really cute. It was like a prequel to, basically they're just like little guys and they're running around, and Scoob is like very little, and so are the other like mystery gang. It's really cute. I think it would have been cute to see. And then, of course, Batgirl. So if you were paying attention in the beginning, you might already know who did this. Anyone want to guess? It was capitalism. Wait, sorry. It was Max. So, the bottom line, corporate wants you to find the difference between these two pictures, so they're the same picture. So the bottom line, digital media ownership is fraught with contradictions, and you do not own the digital media that you buy, usually. What a, I don't even have words for it, honestly. So we'll just move on. No, not Hatsune Miku. How can companies worth billions of dollars be so heartless and cruel? It's a really good question, and it's a really complicated answer. Money. Actually, there's a better way to explain it. It's mostly money. So let's break it down. So tax breaks. If it doesn't make money, you can get money back, which is why Batgirl and Coyote versus Acme and Scoob never got released. That was like a, $130 million tax break for Max, which is egregious. Why do you need that much money? Residuals, no airtime, no residuals to cast and crew. You don't have to keep paying people for producing that. Yes, that does mean the people who worked on the things that were shelved and never saw the light of day didn't get paid their residuals. How dirty. And sometimes they're shopped around. Some titles are taken and sold to other platforms. Tubi is like a major one. You can like get it on most smart TVs now, and it's just like a bunch of weird crap. So what does this actually mean? Yeah, it's still mostly money. So that's the TLDR of that. SOS, save our stuff. What can we do to fix this? Well, it's a good question. It's a really good question. A map to lead us to a hidden box. Actually, stop. Don't break the law. Don't do it. Don't do illegal things. I can't tell you to do illegal things. I'm literally standing on a stage. You wouldn't download a car. Okay. 5B, the black flag, why you shouldn't ride the waves of the 7 seas of illegal media. It's not good for you, and here's why. Do not go on r/piracy. There is nothing there for you. There is not a lot of information. There's nothing there. Do not get a VPN that will protect you when you do download pirated media. Don't go to the Internet Archive that has so many different things saved, like software that I did download to edit this. I mean, what? No, I didn't. Don't go to GOG. Don't do it. You'll never return. Go directly to jail. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. We all need it in this economy. Okay, so actually, a public appeal. How can we prevent a digital mass extinction from happening again? What can we do that doesn't include breaking the law? Well, it's easy to really feel like it's hopeless. There are so many things working against us, laws and lobbyists in DC, companies that want proprietary titles to stay under lock and key. Does anyone remember the Disney Vault? That amount of ridiculousness? Nintendo? That's a full sentence. But I'm here to tell you that it is not hopeless. In fact, you're already putting in the work. So you're at MAGFest. MAGFest is a 501c3 nonprofit organization. That's right, you are supporting a 501c3 nonprofit that is dedicated to video games and other media that we love. Give yourself a good pat on the back and a round of applause. You're doing the work. Congratulations, friends, you're already helping. There are other things to do as well. Go visit the museum upstairs after this panel. Tell them I sent you. Support the Video Game History Foundation and the amazing work they're doing for video game preservation and advocacy. Check out Hope. That's what their logo looks like, and I think it's really pretty. Check out GOG's new preservation program that intends to keep classic video games playable forever, which I think is sick as hell. There are so many things that you can do to really, make sure that our games don't disappear into a shelf to collect dust forever. You make a difference. Get involved. Call your flippin' representatives and tell them how mad you are about this. They are there to listen to you. You can leave as many messages you want. I do it all the time. They hate hearing from me. So you've already started by making a difference. You've come to MAG. You've attended this panel. You care about the access to media. There's really nothing quite like this community in the fact that everyone here cares so much about the games that we have played, will play in the future, and enjoy. I mean, we all have favorite classic video game titles that were made in 2010 or earlier. Still don't like that. But thanks for supporting video game history and our human history. So that brings me to the end-ish of this panel. Q&A. If you have questions, I might have an answer, or I can Google it live for you. Either or. Yep, over there.
I feel like this is all just highly illegal, and do you happen to have the phone number for the digital fiber police?
No comment. Over there.
Are you sure this isn't capitalism?
Are we sure this isn't capitalism's fault? No comment. Clee?
Do you have a favorite emulator?
A favorite emulator? Oh boy. I don't. I don't actually have a favorite emulator. Who hates emulation over here? I heard that. But there's a lot of really cool tech that's available now, including the literal fake consoles that look like a literal Game Boy, that I think are pretty neat. My friend has one of those, and looking at all of the cool little titles. Oh, that's over there? Oh my God, look at it, it's right there. Yeah! There it is. Anyways, I think that's pretty neat. What is it called?
That's what I was going to say. So Anthropic is one of the companies that makes these. They release one once every 3 weeks. My lead-in question, Niu is another good one. My question is if you have
What would my dream knockoff device look like? That's a good question. So I grew up on, miss the Game Boy family because my family was just like, girls don't play video games. And I was just like, you know what? They don't, I guess. I guess we're just not gonna do that until I started stealing my brother's Game Boy, and the only thing he had available was Mario Golf. So I played a lot of Mario Golf. I didn't get a lot of Game Boy games out of that. But once my mom figured out that that was where my brother was complaining his Game Boy went to, because he couldn't play Mario Golf, she got me a rose gold DS, and that was my first, console, handheld. And I have such a great fondness. It is in tatters. I still have it. The screen disconnects from itself. It still works. Mind you, it still works. It completely disconnects, but the wires still let it work. So I think it would probably be just everything from the DS and also everything from the 3DS, because those are my two favorite consoles, and I don't think you can really get better than that. And I skipped over the DSi because what the heck? What was that? That was kind of boring. Yep, over there.
Besides Willow, what would you be, if you had to choose one thing, what would you unshelve?
If I had to choose one thing, what would I unshelve? That's a really good question. So I'm very much a video game person. I don't consume a lot of television or movie media. That's a little bit strange of me, but whatever. So I would probably do my damnedest to reverse the virtual console situation. I think out of everything that went away in the Nintendo eShop closure, the virtual console is one of the most egregious faults that happened, and the fact that we have nothing to replace it is kind of ridiculous. And the fact that Nintendo continues to plan to not do anything to fix this problem is an issue for me. So I think I would reverse the virtual console deletion, essentially. Great question, thank you. Yep.
How much do you like putting stuff on physical media? Like, you download all your favorite Bubblehead songs, you put it on a CD, and you hold it in your hand, it's yours forever.
So the question was, how much do I love putting things on physical media? I love it. I was in high school, which wasn't terribly long ago. Well, actually, maybe it was. Oh, God. Okay, I'm gonna stop spiraling and answer the question. But I was the friend that made everyone CD mixes and would give them out. So that was me. I built a computer, and then I completely forgot to have a CD drive, and I'm gonna remedy that eventually because they don't make them anymore. They don't. They're oh, we don't need CDs. Oh, by the way, Sony just announced that they're canceling Blu-ray discs, by the way. They're not making any more Blu-rays. Oh, I'm serious. I didn't have time to put in my presentation, but my friend earlier today sent me an article that was Sony announces the end of Blu-ray, and I'm just are you kidding me?
It happens in Japan, and all places in the world, like the United States, Europe, they're still making Blu-ray.
Okay, don't panic, everyone. They're still making Blu-ray in some places. For now. For now. The end times are near.
No corporation is your friend.
No corporation is your friend. Yes, over here.
What do you think the future of digital media is going to be? You think it's going to be run by library databases, from the government or private entities?
The question was, what do I think the future of digital media is going to look like? And there was a hopeful note to it of, do you think libraries are going to run it? And no, I don't think that libraries are going to run it. I think that capitalism is going to ruin everything, actually. Don't tell the government I said that. But there is a lot of issues surrounding how libraries are able to distribute digital media, specifically video games. You cannot digitally lease out video games to anyone. If you are a library, you are not allowed to do that. You have to be on site. They have to have a console for you to play it there. You cannot take it with you. The Library of Congress only lets you do it on site for specific research purposes. Essentially, no, not even. I don't think they even let you bring in a console, honestly.
It's like whatever they have there.
Did someone say you can or you cannot?
I have a master's degree in library science.
Fantastic! We love our librarians! Hello! What's that?
It's okay if I make a quick PSA if someone.
Please, please.
Hi everyone, I have a master's degree in archival, in library science with an emphasis on archival studies. I'm a digital archivist career.
That's sick as hell.
My big master's project was how do we recreate, this is crazy of WoW Classic, how do we recreate WoW Classic with the old? You can't, the answer is you can't, it's fine.
Uh-oh.
You can't, so licensing's insane, legal is insane. Libraries don't even own anything digitally, the same as we don't. You lease from, same with book publishers, that's why you can't do it. They have to own physical consoles, physical games. BitRot is very real. I know I shake. I own 1,800 books. Wow. I love physical media as someone who does.
What a queen.
All of that is still going to go. CDs are going to be. BitRot is already a massive issue. All your games that you hold on, you guys don't play and just look at, for your Commodores, for your consoles for fun, might not run when you guys right. So emulation is the answer. There is no really good legal answer, unfortunately, and I don't think there will be. It is always going to be grassroots. It's always going to be corporate, like 501 non-corporate things. Libraries love you, and they're going to do their damnedest. They can't legally do it. They can't break the law and lose all their funding. They're already struggling as it is.
Here, here.
So yeah, so it's always going to be grassroots. It's always just going to be fans, and as much as you can digitize all your physical media, game-wise, playably, that's great. But it all storage costs money, including digital storage, and that's unfair to quote all of us. But I don't. It'll have to be a good share payback for us, and the shield is for that. There just is no. Yes, there is no top-down answer for this.
That's really good to know. What was your name again?
Oh, hi, my name's Hope Ann, which is
Hope?
not a real name, it is.
Hope? Well, thank you so much for that PSA, and thank you for being a librarian. We love you. The TLDR, if you didn't hear that for some edges of the room, was digitize as much as you can. The future of classic gaming is emulation, and it's going to be grassroots, and it's going to be slightly illegal, potentially. Don't worry about it. Yes, pink shirt.
If you had a choice of a current game that hasn't been shelved yet or digital media that you could say, yep, that thing's going to be perfectly recorded forever, what would your choice be?
The question was if there is a game that is still currently around that I could have perfectly and all its beauty and splendor forever before it gets shelved, even when it gets shelved, essentially. Which game would that be? And I'm gonna be like, this is kind of a unpopular answer, but I will have you know that I am cosplaying from a gotcha game. Womp womp. That's a whole other issue. But I think it would have to be Genshin Impact or Zenless Zone Zero or both. I lean more towards Zenless Zone Zero because I really like the story right now. It's not very complete, but MiHoYo has really wonderful writers and a really rich story, and it is a gotcha game, my friends. That is not going to last forever. It is going to go away one day, and we are never going to be able to access it as it is right now. So if I could, I would just, yank that for myself and keep it in my back pocket. Save all of the money stealing maneuvers and primos and what have you. I don't have that kind of money. All the way in the back.
So I actually feel that pain because one of my favorite gotcha games, Konosuba Fantastic Day, is about to shut down in a couple of days.
Oh no, I'm so sorry.
I'm really sad. And they're doing local copy only for the Japanese server.
No! No!
So it's real sad in the subreddit right now.
Oh.
So I feel that pain also well because I'm going through it.
My partner is a gacha game fanatic, and he lost Dragalia Lost not terribly long ago. But the good news is the people who love Dragalia Lost were like, hey, this kind of sucks. What if we change this? And they made 2 kind of like local servers. One for like the game in its purest form, and one as someone crazy is updating it and adding characters and stuff. So perhaps there might be someone of a like mind that's like, you know what, we can put together a server too. Thank you for letting me know that. R.I.P. Konosuba. All right, you in the green?
Do you have any resources for beginners going into emulation?
Resources for beginners going into emulation. I don't want to be like r/piracy, but like their master thread, it really has everything. Don't tell them I said that. Don't. Shh, it's illegal. Don't do illegal things, guys. It's bad for you. Internet Archive as well. Yes, that is also a good aspect. The screenshot that I had of GameStop in 2009 is from the Wayback Machine, part of the Internet Archive. Thank you for preserving that beautiful webpage. Yes, over there in the corner.
Like, going to this panel reminded me about how, like, the first couple hundred episodes of, like, Doctor Who are just gone.
Yeah, they are. The BBC got rid of them. Oh.
Sorry, I know way too much.
No, we love you. We love you. Get up here.
The Queen, today she'd be dead. She is dead, but Doctor Who's my favorite show, and so it's pretty heavily rumored that she might have essentially like someone else recorded TV clips of old Doctor Who that she might have had. We'll never see those, but that is media that is in the gray area that is possibly not actually.
Yeah, it's kind of under the umbrella where it's like it's somewhere, maybe. It almost always is somewhere, unless you are the fire that happened to the silent movies. Those are gone. I can only take a couple more questions because we're coming up on time. Yes, your.
Is there any good resources you know for DSI flip notes?
DSI flip notes. Are there any good resource? Someone seems to have a good resource on DSI flip notes in the back.
They actually do. There is a site that has archived as best it could, like the footnote antenna like database. It doesn't have everything, but it does exist.
Oh.
I don't know what it's like. Just like Google like footnote antenna online, and you'll find it.
The question was, where is DSI flip notes? RIP DSI flip notes. But the answer was DSI flip note Hatenna.
Yeah, the website is just like footnote antenna database. And it's
Gotcha.
online.
Flipnote Hatenna database. Awesome. All right. Any other questions? Yes, you.
Before letting comment, earlier there was a Q&A panel with like actual video game lawyers.
Yeah, I saw that.
Someone asked them about this, like, yo, what's up with you're really buying being licensed to download your games but buying ownership? And their like lawyer answer was basically, yeah, if you buy print, you're buying the license to download, so buying a copy of the game.
Mhm.
But if you don't like it, one, if you don't do it, just buy physical media. And two, local for law. They talk about California passed a thing that said basically said that like those streaming sites have to give you like a better warning that like hey,
Yeah.
you only buy and download a license. So maybe laws could get better.
That is true, and that is actually why Steam changed a lot of what was said on their website. They clarified their terms and conditions. They have a little pop-up when you go to buy a game that says, hey, you're buying a license because of that California law. So ripple effects, right? Theoretically, maybe this could get better. Who knows? One can hope. One can hope. Any other questions? Yes, you?
So probably my biggest like shock moment was seeing that I had bought a copy of Cheesy Robo
Mhm.
like long ago. Pre-owned from GameStop for like $13. I've seen it up for $200 now.
Oh my God. Ooh.
What was your biggest moment of like
Platinum is like one of my biggest ones, but not terribly long ago, kind of during the pandemic, my partner and I went to GameStop, and there was a bunch of people who were trying to sell their old GameCube games to GameStop because that's the only place they knew of. GameStop wasn't buying GameCube games because this was 2021 and that's not a thing. They said, oh, what if you take them to the exchange? And they almost walked out of there. My partner, in all of his wisdom, walked right over there and said, hey, do you mind if I take a look? And rifled through and found what is now basically market value today, probably over like $300 to $500 worth of GameCube games just in that box. Wait, 1,000? One of them was Path of Radiance, and that is 1,000 apparently. Or it's a lot of money. There was a lot of money in there, and they didn't necessarily know what they had. They didn't really care what they got for it. They wanted them out of the attic, so we gave them like $150, and they handed it over to us, and they were just like, "Here you go." And I said, "Oh my God, okay, wonderful, thank you. I will not mention this to you ever." So that was one of my moments of, wow, this is incredibly unfair that all of these classic video games that I loved in my childhood are just so ridiculously expensive that most normal people can't buy them. I have time for maybe one more question. Yes?
Going back to what you're talking about, sometimes you kind of have to sail the high seas for what you want. But me and my friends, especially my friends, they all love Kamen Rider, and that's almost zero chance of getting that in America.
Yes.
Because of that, and so you have to sail the high seas, but it's what are we supposed to do at this point when we don't even want to take our money?
One of my friends once said, this is going to sound really awful, is it really stealing if they're not selling it? Thank you, M, for that beautiful quotation.
Piracy isn't stealing.
All right, well, that is pretty much all the time I have. If you are interested in finding me elsewhere, you can scan that little QR code. That will take you to my card. It's not very updated, but I have a cosplay page, and I will eventually put this PowerPoint and its bibliography up there for all of you to access and see it in all its glory. Thank you so much for coming to this panel and being so nice to me. Viva La Media Ownership! Thank you so much, MAGFest!